Okay, so in the last video we looked at the main menu bar at the bottom down here, and we looked at how to run the game, how to go to the main menu and the home screen. We've covered those. What we're going to look at in this video is navigation, so all the different navigation options, so how we move around the Kodu environment. So if you select the hand, the navigation hand, it says at the bottom this allows you to move the camera. And as I mentioned before in the last video, you've got the little menu up here, the legend, which tells you left click will allow you to drag the terrain. So this moves it forwards and backwards, left and right, and it keeps it on one sort of plane, it keeps it on one angle. But if I had mountains all along this front edge here, I wouldn't be able, and I place something behind the mountains, I wouldn't be able to see what I'd placed. So I'm just going to give you a demonstration. So I'm going to click onto that, click the rover. Don't worry about trying to do this just yet. It will make more sense later on. There we go. So going back to the hand. So now I've created a wall at the back and I have a robot around the other side. Now if I left click, I can't see the robot. I can see his head there and it's difficult to see him. So that can become quite problematic. You're going to struggle to reach that robot and program that robot or add things to the other side of this wall. So what we can do is we can right click and this will orbit the camera. And what that means is if we right click, hold down right click and we move to the right, it allows us to spin round the world. Now if I move up and down, it allows me to spin over the top of the world, and I can literally move it round. So I'm moving the mouse now in, holding down the right mouse button and moving the mouse in an anti-clockwise circle rotation, and this is the effect you get. If I move it around in a clockwise rotation, you get this angle. Unfortunately you can't see underneath the robot, but you can see straight at him, and you can move it to a different angle. If I've let go the right mouse button now, and what I want to do is I'm going to grab the left mouse and I can move him. So if you can imagine that the left mouse button moves the terrain on a flat plane, so it kind of moves it along the x-axis, and if you can imagine that the right mouse button moves it sort of on the y-axis. Technically we call this the z-axis, and this is like the 3D perspective. But that allows us to give us a bit of an angle so we can turn around and see it. The final thing to note is the scroll. So if I wanted to zoom into the robot, so I'm going to move left mouse to get closer, I can zoom in, or I can zoom right out. Zoom in and zoom out. So this is scrolling forward, zooms me in, scrolling back, zooms me out. Now one thing that I've noticed a lot of students do is when they scroll out too far, they get this view. So it looks like you're looking through a telescope, or you're looking through a lens, and it goes out quite far. And then some students, if they'll get the left mouse button, the right mouse button, and then they'll twist it around, and they'll lose where they're supposed to be with this. This can be quite problematic, but what you've got to do is just persevere with it and either use the right mouse button or the left mouse button just to get your position, focus the terrain in the middle, or get it to the point so you can see the terrain in the middle, and then just zoom in and keep zooming in until you find the robot. You may zoom a little bit past, you come back, and then you use your left and your right mouse button just to recenter the world. And that is pretty much it. The best way to learn how to do this is just to have a practice and have a play. And I will see you in the next video where we're going to look at the paintbrush and putting some terrain on.